Black Ops 6 Zombies has to be the best launch for a Call of Duty Zombies game ever, and I really stand by that, because not only has its launch been amazing, but honestly it doesn't have that much competition. But before we get into that part of it, let's just talk about this game and its launch. Like, first off, the maps. We have Terminus and Liberty Falls. Now, Terminus is already, in my opinion, a top 10 map. I've been playing this map non-stop, having so much fun with it. I love the atmosphere of this map. I love the look of this map. I love the layout of this map. Like, one thing that I think is really cool is the uniqueness of this map with the water and using boats to get around to the different islands. Like, initially when I saw that, I thought that was a little gimmicky, but after playing, I actually think it's really cool to have those islands. I mean, you could ignore them for the most part if you don't want to, but they're also really cool to have there on the side. Like, I really think it's cool to have those things just to integrate into the Easter egg, or just mess around with, or do side Easter eggs, or whatever it may be. I think is actually a really cool addition. Also, just the layout of the map and the look of the map is amazing. We have a crew back, which I'm not going to give them too much credit about, because, you know, they should have never taken him out in the first place, but it's just nice to have them back with conversational quotes and all that stuff. That is amazing to see. The map itself is so cool, especially thinking about even the Easter eggs, especially in this game as a whole, but especially on Terminus. The side Easter eggs are insane. Like, I love the side Easter eggs, which is coming from a guy who normally just kind of hates on side Easter eggs and thinks they're a waste of time most of the time. I'll be straight up with you guys, that's been my opinion about side Easter eggs for a while, but in this game, oh my gosh, they're actually really cool on their own, or they're actually complementary to the rest of the game, whether it be some free point side Easter eggs or free power up side Easter eggs that complement the rest of the game, or it be like standalone ones like the amulet Easter egg or pirate Easter egg, whatever you want to call it. That is absolutely amazing. That's stuff I love to see in it. Like, it's not overly weird or dumb steps, it's just really cool and really rewarding to do. Stuff like that is what I want to see out of side Easter eggs, and they nailed it in this game. Now, the main Easter egg, I will admit to you guys that I think the steps for it are lacking and not really super fun and creative. I can't think of like a step where I think about that Easter egg and say, well, that was a really cool step. Like, all of them are like, whatever, you know. And I really hope in the future Treyarch like fixes that. I guess it makes the steps cooler in the future, but I mean, at least for this map, it's kind of made up, because throughout this main Easter egg we get 3 cutscenes and 2 boss fights, and especially that second boss fight, that has to be Treyarch's single best boss fight ever. It is so cool. I love it so much. Visually, it's stunning. You're fighting this giant Cthulhu inspired monster that is so cool and so underrated, but on top of that, mechanically and just gameplay wise, I think it's a ton of fun to fight, because especially your first few times playing it, like, it's so intimidating and you don't really know how to deal with it efficiently, but like eventually you'll figure out how to deal with it more efficiently and it'll get easier as you play through it. But like, it's so cool just to have that intense moment the first few times you play it, and that visual to match that intensity. That is amazing. I love it so much. But then of course we have Liberty Falls to talk about, and I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. I am a little disappointed with Liberty Falls. I thought it was going to be a little bit cooler. Now, and that's not to say it's bad or anything, but it mainly comes from the main Easter egg. I just feel like that is a bit lacking. But I can't complain too much, because if you think about all the other second launch maps ever in Call of Duty Zombies, whether it be Nuketown, 5, The Giant, like, they don't even have like main Easter eggs or even that many side Easter eggs, whereas this game, we have a whole main Easter egg. So I'm not going to complain too much about it, but I did expect a little bit more out of its main Easter egg. But one thing it didn't lack was its actual side Easter eggs. Those are so cool. Again, in this game as a whole, they've been killing it with side Easter eggs. I've been absolutely loving what they do with side Easter eggs. That's amazing, and I'm glad that that's what they're doing with this game. They're making side Easter eggs actually cool and useful. Now, of course, I haven't played this much nearly as much as Terminus, which seems to be the opposite for a lot of other people, but I think the main reason for that is because it's definitely the easier map to go high rounds on, which is fair enough, and you know, high rounds is like the OG way to play zombies, so I'm not going to hate on that. But I also feel like a lot of people have been using this map to grind camos, which I guess is cool, but I've been grinding camos on the Terminus more because I feel like it has better camping spots, but whatever, to each their own. But regardless though, Liberty Falls is probably the best second map in terms of just gameplay. Not thematically, that's still The Giant in my opinion, but in terms of gameplay, it is by far the best second launch map we've ever had for a Call of Duty Zombies game. But now let's get into the systems of this game, because there's a lot of really cool ones, and the one I have to shout out that is by far the best thing that has ever happened to Call of Duty Zombies is the save and quit feature. Oh my gosh, it is so nice to be in solo game. You have to go pause, save, quit, or you're in the middle of a high round run, you save and quit, just come back a different day. That is amazing. But of course, there's more ones that are tied to gameplay. The other big one, it has to be the augment system. I think it's really cool. I'm really close to unlocking every single augment in the game, and it's just been really cool to experiment with all the different ones, because there's some that just completely change how whatever it may be, whether it's your field upgrade, perk, or ammo mod. Like, some of them just completely change how they work, and I think that's a really cool thing to do in the game. It just changes your experience. And also, I love that you can optimize based on what you're doing in the game, whether you're trying to just play the Easter egg, speed run the Easter egg, get some headshots, or get high rounds, or different strategies to play high rounds. Like, a lot of that stuff is really cool. Just be able to change your game just based on your augments and which ones you've equipped. And one thing I think is super underrated, and maybe this is really cool just to me and a couple other people, but the fact that you can save and quit in this game and then change your augments and then come back into that same game, like, that's really cool in my opinion. I think, like, eventually if they let them do it, that's kind of change how people play the speedrun Easter eggs and stuff like that. I mean, it's definitely changed how people already do high rounds. People changed their whole strats because they were able to pause and quit and change their augments and come back to that game. They could try a whole new strategy. Like, that stuff is really cool. But of course, that's not the only system that's really cool. There's also the gobblegum system that's returned. Now, I can't really speak to how this is really going to affect the game, because right now many people haven't been using gobblegums too much, and I think the main reason that is the case is just because people don't have that many gobblegums. Because, like, I'm just about to hit prestige 5 and I only have like 4 perkaholics, which isn't a lot, obviously. So I think, like, eventually we'll see the real ramifications of gobblegums in this game. Once people collect a lot that they're willing to use a lot, you'll see speed runs change, you'll see high rounds change, and just a lot of different things change because of those gobblegums. And I can't really speak to it now, but right now they just don't seem too OP, which is, I think, an overall good thing. And also, how you earn them is definitely good. No liquid divinium, you just randomly earn them while you play the game. And I know people are worried about how gobblegum packs are being included in the battle pass and probably eventually bundles, but as long as it's not in like a lot of bundles and there's like not too many in the battle pass, I think we'll be fine. Because if we get to a point where you just straight up buy gobblegum packs, I think that would be bad. But right now, I don't really think there's anything to complain about, at least monetarily wise, with this. And it's not pay to win like it was in Black Ops 3 so far, but cross our fingers that doesn't change. And of course, the final big system in this game has to be the camel grind. I've been loving the camel grind. It's amazing. Like, I just been having so much fun getting on Terminus, playing with friends, just getting some headshots, getting around 30 exfil, do that over and over again. And I'm getting kind of close. Like, I think I have like only 3 more guns that I need to get the 2,000 critical kills on, so I'm getting there. I'll be getting Nebula relatively soon, so, you know, keep an eye when I finally make the video about that. And for all these reasons, this is why I believe Black Ops 6 is the best launch to a Call of Duty Zombies game ever. Now, to be honest, that sounds impressive, but it really isn't, and that's not to downplay how good Black Ops 6 is, but like, if you look at all the other launches, at least that I've been around for, they haven't been that great. I mean, Black Ops 2 was the first one I was around for. That was freaking Transit and Nuketown. So impressive, right? And then Black Ops 3, I mean, it had some gameplay mechanics that were there at launch that would eventually change that people forget about, especially the hit system and the gobblegum system that didn't really work that well. But especially, a lot of people, myself included, were hating on Shadows of Evil. Like, they had something to complain about there. I didn't even play that much Shadows of Evil at launch. Now, of course, I ended up being wrong about that, but, you know, that's just how people felt. And then Black Ops 4, I mean, the game was broken on launch and had a bunch of terrible systems. I mean, that has to be the worst launch ever. And then, of course, with Cold War, that game was rushed, so we only had one map, and it was kind of lackluster. Didn't have a set crew. I can't even remember the side Easter eggs, and the main Easter egg was lacking. So honestly, it just feels by default that Black Ops 6 gets it at this point, but still, it's amazing nonetheless. But regardless, that's going to wrap it up for me. Thank you guys all so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, I appreciate if you guys dropped a like, subscribe, bell, share, any of that great stuff, but I'm gonna go, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.